Good evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news, updates, debates and my opinions. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. We are on the way now to 11,800 subscribers. And if you could click that like button, I would be incredibly grateful. It's a Monday. It's the start of the week. There's plenty of news to talk about. This is the week that football begins again for us. I know we had that behind closed doors friendly. That doesn't count. Arsenal are now on tour, and there is plenty to talk about. There's loads of you here as well, which we absolutely love to see. Ross Lawman, Pekka, Jakob, Hyper, Anu Brata, Woodsy, Lord Ferguson of Aberdeen, Vic, Icarus, Jackson, Jack Sachs, Typical Puma, Cringe, Alex, Vivi Vlad, Fizzy, Oslo Guna, Hannah Tentego, Max, Verdi, Alex, Leonardo, and many, many more. It is good to see you. I hope your weeks have started well. Goldbridge also saying that FFP has ruined the transfer window he loves so much, and he wants FFP gone, but he's been first to mention 115 and Arsenal spending 600 mil and how it's not fair. Well, there you go. Old Goldbridge, eh? Old Goldbridge. Anything else? What are people talking about? Sell Eddie or give him away? He's just not good enough. I mean, he's still got value, though. Eddie Nketiah does still have value, right? He's still young. He's English, homegrown. A lot of experience at an elite club. There is value there, and we have to make sure that we do get that value for him when we sell him. As much as I agree, I don't think he can be in the squad next season. They've started calling Calafiori Calamity and Calatastro Fiore. Excellent. Sensational. Calafiori still isn't done, but it is close. Would you take 50 for Eddie and Reece Nelson, or is that too much? Well, I'd take it. Yeah, it is too much. If someone paid 50 for Eddie and Nelson, I'd question their sense, but I would take it. Absolutely, I'd take it. Calafiori, exactly. Calafiori is the only name that he will go by. That is the only name that he will go by. Eddie might actually cook at Marseille, but I won't watch Marseille games regardless for obvious reasons. Yeah, I mean, that'd be an interesting one. I mean, that would be interesting. Like Eddie Nketiah and Mason Greenwood at Marseille as like an attacking. I don't know. It would be it would be quite bizarre. But yeah, I probably won't be watching. Eddie sale is pure profit on the books too. Yeah, exactly. Eddie Nketiah's sale, along with Reece Nelson's and potentially Emil Smith-Rowe, they are important sales. They are important sales. But look, let's crack into things. Calafiori, Fabrizio Romano says Arsenal and Bologna are now preparing the documents to complete the deal for Ricardo Calafiori in the next few hours. We may get the here we go this evening. The player will have his medical and sign his Arsenal contract this week. Now, I don't think he's going to go to America. We actually fly back. Our final game in America is on I want to say the 3rd. Maybe not even that. When's our final game in America? Yeah, our final game in America is on the 1st. So our final game in America is only 10 days away. 9 days away, in fact. I'd be surprised if he even bothers going. If he's doing the medical and that stuff this week, I mean, he'd be flying there for a couple of days training maybe and then flying straight back. I'm not sure that he'll bother. Maybe, I don't know what he'll do instead, but we'll wait and see, I suppose. On Calafiori, another weird thing that happened. So Roma now want money as well. So Roma, if you're not familiar with Calafiori's career path, right? He was at Roma, came up at the Roma Academy, I believe. Got that really bad injury. I think he went on loan to Genoa, and then he moved from Roma to Basel. He moved for 2.6 million euros, and within that, Roma had a 40% sell-on clause. So then when Basel sold Calafiori to Bologna, 40% of that, they sold him for like 4 million euros. 40% of that went to Roma. So Roma got a kickback of like 1.6 million euros from that. However, now that Basel are set to make 20 million euros from their 50% sell-on clause that they had with Bologna, Roma are turning around and saying, well, we're owed 40% of that because we had a 40% sell-on clause. And I don't know how it works because I guess it depends on how it's worded. But if it's worded as like 40% of all future profits on Calafiori, then maybe they're entitled to that. Either way, it shouldn't be our problem.
It shouldn't be our problem. We should be able to get the signing done, and they can sort out all. And by the way, there's going to be another sell-on clause, right? We've included a sell-on clause to Bologna. So what happens if we then sell Calafiori? Bologna take their sell-on clause, then Basel wants some of Bologna's sell-on, and Roma wants some of Basel's. It's like this never-ending train of sell-on clauses, which is all just a bit ridiculous and confusing. But there you go. So that's what's happening with Calafiori. The short story is he is most likely going to complete his medical and sign this week. So happy days. It shouldn't be our problem. I agree. Will Saka, Raya, and the others that went far in the Euros fly out to the USA? No. Arsenal confirmed yesterday that Rice, Saka, Ramsdale, Raya, and Saliba will not go to America. They will all be staying at home, and they'll join up with the team when the team gets back from America. We're almost at 200 viewers. Let's hit the like button, please. Yeah, as usual, if you could get me to 100 likes during the live stream, I would be incredibly grateful. So whilst I'm waffling away, just take 2 seconds out of your time to click the like button. It is completely free. Yeah, no. Roma are going to take 200k when we sell them in the future. Yeah, exactly. Just this. I mean, it's like the bloody. It's just bizarre. Once a contract has been paid and done, you don't get to pay the sell-on clause anymore. Well, I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know. To be fair, I don't think people realize how insane some football negotiations and contracts are. I remember I actually spoke to a guy who was involved in that side of football, who said that 7 years after Gareth Bale got sold from Tottenham to Real Madrid, Tottenham was still getting a kickback due to some commercial clause in the commercial rights of Gareth Bale. Like 7 years after Bale had gone, Tottenham was still getting paid on commercial. There's a lot that goes into those contracts. It's insane. The preseason teams are not that good anyway. What, the ones that we're playing against? Man United and Liverpool. Well, and Bournemouth, I suppose, whilst we're out there. I am concerned, by the way. I do have to say, I am a little bit concerned just about the preseason trip in general, right? So we're there for 10 days. By the time we actually play, which is Thursday, we're going to play 3 games in 7 days. I think they're all in different places as well, which means between those games, the squad are going to have to fly. They're going to be playing on terrible pitches. We know that from America. And I am slightly concerned that 3 games in 7 days or in 3 different parts of America on terrible pitches, it screams someone getting an injury that they don't need to get. It absolutely screams it. Which is, I don't know. Hopefully we avoid it, but I'm not a huge fan of it. Doing it in that quick time. Can you please look at, again, do I trust this name? Let me have a look. Okay, he's a real person. We'll have a look. As you asked nicely. We're having a look at Orri Oskarsson. Never heard of him before? This is, ladies and gentlemen, Orri Oskarsson. Striker, 186 centimeters, whatever that is. 19 years old, right-footed. Plays for Copenhagen. Woo! Oh, wait. Infinite? What? Infinite? Or as a baller? No, what is this? Why? Oh, it's because it's from last season. My bad. God, I thought we were absolutely through the roof then. Thought we were infinite goals. No, this still looks decent though. Chris, thank you very, very much for becoming a new member of the channel. Chris has already got the Calafiori profile picture, by the way. What a legend. Chris, welcome. Welcome to the channel, and thank you very, very much for that support. This looks decent. Not bad. It's very difficult to tell. But there's a little bit of greenery there. We don't mind that. What did he do last season? Scored. How many goals did he score? 9 goals. 9 goals last season. Well, there you go. There's Orri Oskarsson. What's his name? Orri Oskarsson. Orri Oskarsson. There you go. One for the future. Anyway, moving on from Calafiori and the news around him. Mikel Merino. Mikel Merino, who I think is going to be the next player that we go big for. According to Radio Marca, Merino is close to leaving for the Premier League. Now, originally, they actually said that they thought he was closer to Chelsea than to Arsenal, but no one else has really been reporting that Chelsea are interested in him. But Radio Marca is saying that he's close to a move to the Premier League, and you would presume that would be Arsenal. Ryan Taylor says Real Sociedad want at least £25 million for Merino. The name is of strong interest at Arsenal, and Sociedad are resigned to losing the player. Now, that means Merino's price has gone up, as with pretty much every player that has performed. I mean, I wouldn't even say Merino had a brilliant Euros. Like, he made a few appearances and looked good at the Euros, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like he burst onto the scene at the Euros. But anyway, they want more money for him now than they did previously. And then Deportes Cuatro, which is a Spanish outlet, which apparently is reliable. Mikel Merino's options now. Arsenal have the money, but Barcelona prefer to wait due to economic problems, whilst Atletico Madrid is not convincing him. Mikel really likes Arsenal's environment. So there you go. Arsenal, apparently, a lot of the Spanish outlets reporting that Arsenal do have the most financial firepower to go at this deal. Merino himself still wants to wait. I mean, the thing is, he's on holiday, right? This is something that could drag on for a few weeks just because of the fact that, obviously, with Spain winning the Euros, it's very delayed and he's on holiday and that sort of thing. So there you go. George Christodoulou, welcome. It says, what event did you used to do at Sports Day? Good question. Good question. As I progressed through the ages, I'll be honest, it reduced. Back in the early days, especially at primary school, I did everything. I was actually good. And then, yeah, as I got older, I remember I did the 1,500 meters. The last event I ever did was the 1,500 meters. And I remember about 2 laps round, because it was like 3.5 laps of the track. And about 2 laps round, I thought, we're done here. We're finished. We're done with this nonsense. You're an adult now. Call it a day. But yeah, there you go. Did you see the new Calafiori chant? No, I've not seen the Calafiori chant, actually. The Merino disrespect is crazy. I'll be honest, Truey. I swear to God, you think that I disrespect everyone if I don't say that they are amazing and the best player in the world. I've not disrespected Mikel Merino there. But you can't tell me he had a brilliant Euros when he didn't play that much of it. You always say I disrespect Nico Williams as well. Malang Sarr contract at Chelsea was terminated today. Remember when he was touted as better than Saliba and was free? Yep. They're also forcing Trevor Chalobah out, which I find amusing because I thought he was one of their best defenders last season. I have a bad feeling this is going to be our main midfield signing this summer. I share that feeling. I think we're keeping Thomas Partey. And I think Mikel Merino is going to be the only midfielder that we bring in. I am, unless something big happens at the end of the window, I am more and more on that page. I'm so tired of AFTV and those fan pages. Keep posting fake pictures of Calafiori when he was young. It's not even him on the picture. So cringe. Yeah, literally, when that picture came out, the first thing I did was Google it to try and find it, and it was nowhere. So I figured that it wasn't real. Because it would just be weird. Like, why would Calafiori at 20... He's 22 years old. Like, I couldn't even work out if that made sense age-wise, but it didn't make sense. Mark Goldbridge saying earlier today on TF, if United won the league, it would be bigger than Leicester winning it, lol, embracing his inner Rory. No way. Did he actually say that? If he actually said that, he has... that's my thing. That's my thing. That's impressive. That is impressive. We're again depending on Partey's fitness. I'm already pissing myself and it's July. Yeah, this is the problem. Look, I just didn't want to be in this position again, which is exactly the same position we were put in before, where we're all sat here going, well, if Partey stays fit, blah, 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 blah. Because it's just such a silly position to be in because Partey doesn't stay fit. It's tough. It's tough. But there we go. I'd rather keep Partey and get Neto, Williams, or Gyokeres. Yeah, but I'm not sure that we're going to get any of those. I mean, Kaya Kainak said today, it is not thought that Arsenal will be bringing in any superstar names this summer. Instead, the club's policy this window is to acquire players who can raise the level of the squad in a similar manner to recent signings, Jorginho and Leandro Trossard.
maybe you get close to that with Pedro Neto. Maybe Pedro Neto's in that bracket rather than the superstar bracket. But yeah, it does concern me. It does concern me. And I think, I don't know. It sounds like someone else said it as well. I'm not sure I wrote it down. But someone else had said, basically, Arsenal are now looking for... in fact, Simon Collins said it. Here we go. After Ricardo Calafiori, Arsenal are planning further signings this summer with a midfielder and another forward, their next priorities. So, I don't know. I don't know. I think... I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I saw something about Gyokeres again, but I don't believe it. Rory, my mate, thinks Euro is a better signing than Calafiori. What do you think? I think your mate's waffling. I think your mate is waffling, unfortunately. I mean, in fairness, I was on a stream with someone today, a Man United fan, and they've been sold on this idea that Lenny Euro is like, he's going to be the next Saliba. They're absolutely sold on it. And even if he is the next Saliba, I mean, they've already paid 62 million for him, so he better happy. We need a midfielder next to Rice. I mean, this is what I've always said. Going into the window, going into the summer, I made that video months ago at this point saying, an elite partner for Declan Rice, an elite long-term partner for Declan Rice, that has to be a priority. And I don't think we're going to get it this summer. Fine. Maybe we get it next summer instead. But then we are relying on Thomas Partey staying fit. And that is tough. Euro is good, but Ten Hag will ruin him. But remember, people seem to forget, we sent William Saliba on loan for a long time. Like, expecting Euro to start at the age of 18 in the Premier League. I'm genuinely, and I don't mean this like disrespectfully, Premier League strikers, experienced Premier League strikers, like the Chris Woods of the world, will bully Lenny Euro if they try and start him at 18 years old. They will bully him. He's not massively physical at this point. He's quick. He's not massively physical. He will get pinned down by big, experienced strikers in the Premier League. And that's the worry I have for him. Genuinely, the worry I have for Lenny Euro as a player is that actually his development gets screwed over by being forced to start games in the Premier League this season. I think we might end up getting Victor Osimhen because report just came out that the deal with PSG is not progressing and it's stalled. Well, this is the thing. I do still hold on to the hope that later in the window, Osimhen price falls, Gyokeres price falls, because like you said, PSG had been negotiating heavily with Osimhen, and it sounds like all of that has fallen through. Napoli still want 110 million euros. They weren't interested in having any other players from PSG go the other way. So I do think that could end up being a potential option later in the window, and we've just got to wait for it. But Saliba had 3 seasons on loan for development, and he was on 25k a week. Yet Euro is the next Saliba, can't be loaned as he's on 150 grand a week. Exactly, and that's the problem. That's the problem that I think they'll have with him. Rory, what do you think Rice's best position is? And does that have to determine who we sign, or should it be a 6-8 hybrid? I genuinely don't know what Rice's best position is. But the reality is he's one of the best 6s in the world, and he can probably be one of the best 8s in the world. So for me, you don't worry about what position Declan Rice is going to play next season. You worry about who the best player you can get to play alongside him is. If that is an elite 6 that you can get on the market, you go and get the 6, and Rice plays as the 8. If it's an 8, you play Rice as the 6. It doesn't matter. And in big games, they'll act as a double pivot anyway. So, yeah, I mean, I still find it crazy. I still see people saying Declan Rice isn't a 6, and I'm like, this narrative only developed during the Euros. Suddenly, people decided Declan Rice isn't a 6 because he can't play through balls, or he can't break the lines with passing. And it's like, actually, he can. There's a lot of examples last season where he plays quick balls out to Saka, where he breaks the lines. What they mean is he doesn't do it to the same level as Rodri or Sergio Busquets. And that has never been a measuring stick for 6s in any sense. No one ever looked at N'Golo Kante and said, but can he break the lines? No one ever looked at Makelele and said, can he break? That's never been a thing until now. And suddenly people have decided that despite Declan Rice's every other element of being a 6, Declan Rice is elite at. But that doesn't matter because he can't play through. I find it bizarre.
I find it bizarre. By the way, one player who I genuinely think could be the elite player long term to go alongside Declan Rice is Adam Wharton. I genuinely think if you're looking at a match as a pairing, Adam Wharton from Crystal Palace, I think could be the person. But yeah, it doesn't matter. Rice will do either, and for sure. Look, taking Rice out of the 6 and playing him as the 8, you then get the insanely good press from him. So there are his ball striking ability from the edge of the box, I think, is very good. So there's pros and cons either way. There are pros and cons either way. But Aston Villa's business has been crazy this window. They will be a good team this season. Yeah, they will. I think Villa are kind of going under the radar a bit. I know a lot of people think that because Villa will be in the Champions League and they've not experienced that will maybe hamper them. But no, I think it could be big for them. I do. I don't think Gyokeres' price will fall since he's happy at Sporting and Sporting is happy to keep him. That's posturing, in my opinion. I think on Gyokeres, like, Sporting are a selling club, right? And in Gyokeres, they have a player that they bought last summer, for not a huge amount of money. They can make an instant big profit on him by flipping him. I think that they will look to do it because he's not getting younger. The issue with Gyokeres is he going to replicate this season again next season? Almost certainly not. It would be unbelievable for him to replicate it. He'll be a year older. I think now is the best time for them to sell him. So I think the price might come down, but we'll see. We'll see. I'd love Fabian Ruiz. Yeah, I think PSG have massively hiked the price on Fabian Ruiz though. Douglas will be a big miss for Villa. He will. Douglas Luiz will be a big miss for them. As will Diaby, I think. With Diaby going as well. So Gyokeres is 60 to 70 mil max. Yeah, something like that. Spurs want Gyokeres. That's my worry, by the way. That's my worry. Because, so BT3 last night, which is like a Saudi Arabian specialist, says Al Ahly have Gabriel Jesus and Richarlison on their list of targets for potential striker signings this summer. Now, first of all, if they want Gabriel Jesus, they're going to need to pay a lot of money for him because I genuinely do believe Gabriel Jesus is an important player of the squad this season. I think as someone that can play anywhere across the front three, we are going to rely on him a lot this season. I think he's still at his best capable of starting if he can get back to that level. But even if he can't, he's a very important player for us and one that I don't think we can replace this summer. So if they want him, they're going to have to pay a lot of money. If they go for Richarlison, and apparently they're looking at 50 to 60 million for Richarlison, I know where that money's going. And that would kill me. If Spurs managed to get 50 to 60 million for Richarlison from a Saudi club, and they use that to buy Gyokeres, oh my God. I would be very sad. I would be very sad if that was to happen. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but it does seem like Al Ahly are one of the Saudi clubs that have got a lot of now that all the money's been distributed, they've got a lot to spend and they want to bring in a big striker. So I don't know. I love keeping Jesus as our first backup across the front three. I would only consider selling him to Saudi for at least 60 mil. Yeah, I think so. I think you'd need 60 mil. Spurs signing your 6-month Steam train player would kill. It would. It would be brutal, genuinely. I think Jesus will make a comeback this season. I hope so. I do hope so. What's the lowest price you take for Jesus? 50, probably. 50 is probably the absolute lowest I'd take for him. Just because apart from anything else, I just don't think we wouldn't be able to go and replace him this summer. That would be the problem. Unless we somehow manage to use that to go and sign Nico Williams or something, which maybe would be worthwhile. But yeah, I don't know, but I don't want that to happen. Feels like a lose-lose, though. Either they get Jesus or they get Richarlison. And I can see that being a bad outcome either way. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. Other news today. Ryan Taylor says Marseille are working on a deal for Eddie Nketiah that includes an obligation to buy. Marseille made an opening offer for the player last week to kickstart negotiations, but they are yet to find an agreement with Arsenal. A loan with an obligation isn't the end of the world. I just feel like all of these loans with obligation or loan with option, it just pushes what we can spend a year down the line. Obviously, we would make that money next summer, Who knows what that obligation would be? I think it would need to be 25 million at a minimum, probably. But again, like obligation, fine, much better than an option. But it just means we won't have sold anyone this summer. Like, I would like us to start actually selling players. Did you see Marseille trying to get Eddie on loan? When it comes to Arsenal, people become cheap. Yeah. Well, it's fine. If the loan is with an obligation to buy, it's fine. If it's with an option, it's a problem. I get the feeling that Arsenal want to sell a few players before going in for. I think we do as well. And again, on the sales front, Sky Sports, Sheath or Sheth, whatever his name is, reported there is every expectation that Fulham will go back in with an improved offer for Emil Smith-Rowe. So, look, I think with both Fulham and Crystal Palace bidding on Smith-Rowe, I think it's inevitable that we end up selling him. I just think we will get a decent amount of money. I think we'll probably get 40 million for him. And look, at the absolute blunt end of it, if you take all of your feelings for Emil Smith-Rowe out of it, 40 million for what is ultimately an injury-prone bench player is not bad. It's not bad. Madrid got 2 ACL injuries in USA last summer. Our players need to be careful, especially Timber. Yeah, exactly. Madrid did. I mean, didn't Nkunku's injury, wasn't his out in America last summer as well, which ended up keeping him out for ages? Yeah, need to be careful. So yeah, that's on the sales. Other sales, Reece Nelson. Well, apparently West Ham have gone in for Crescencio Somerville today. Fabrizio Romano said that West Ham have made an initial offering for Crescencio Somerville. That may be an alternative to Reece Nelson. So that would be frustrating if they end up doing that. Again, we need to sell Reece Nelson. We have to sell Reece Nelson for decent money this summer. And when I say decent, I mean like 15 to 20 mil is realistically what you're going to get for him. Rambo to Newcastle. I don't think Newcastle have got the money. I don't think Newcastle have a lot of money at all to spend this summer unless they sell someone big. And even then, they've got Nick Pope. Are they going to make that change to Ramsdale? I don't see it happening. Not for the amount that they would need to spend on Ramsdale for us to let him go. So yeah, 3D pitches. I think we've replaced for the Copa America in the stadiums we're playing in, I think. Maybe. I'm not sure. Hate that Emil is leaving, but nice knowing 10 is free, which could attract players. Yeah, maybe. I mean, Ødegaard might take the 10, though. Ødegaard could take the 10 and free up the 8 for someone else instead, if Smith-Rowe does go. What's happening with Ramsdale? The longer the window goes on, the more I think he's going to stay. Well, that's the thing. We've not really heard anything. The one thing, well, yeah, literally, Pecky, you read my mind. One thing that could be wild, if Ederson does leave Man City, City come in for Ramsdale. Now, that would be a very interesting situation. On Ramsdale, I genuinely believe he could go to Bayern to replace the aging Neuer. Yeah, possibly. Somerville doesn't have a banger against Bournemouth. That's true. Ramsdale to Wolves, possibly. Sarr isn't great and got 40 mil for Max Gilman. Again, though, if realistically, Wolves may well have to replace. Well, they need to replace Kilman, probably. They're probably going to have to replace Pedro Neto. Are they going to go and spend that sort of money on Ramsdale? This is the issue. Trying to sell Ramsdale is going to be very, very difficult because the market of buying clubs for how many clubs out there are looking to buy a top-end goalkeeper? It's tough. Ortega would be number 1. Ramsdale won't go City to be number 2 again. I think Ramsdale's better than Ortega. I think Ramsdale would be number 1 over Ortega. But Rory, the highest level, the difference is in split seconds. Ramsdale can't focus for shit. We have to get rid of him. He can cause us problems if he played. I think people are harsh on Ramsdale. I do think people are harsh on Ramsdale. Ramsdale is shit, not good enough for City. So you constantly have a go at me for disrespecting Spanish players, and then you're coming in and saying Ramsdale shit. I swear, there's a certain group that absolutely hate English players. It's noticeable. It's noticeable how English players get massively disrespected. Ryan made a number of mistakes at the start of last season that if Ramsdale had made, people would have gone absolutely wild over. And some people did go wild over those mistakes. We'll give you 14. Yeah, the number 14 will also be available. The number 14 will be available as well. It doesn't mean either are bad. Yeah, exactly.
And also, when it came to the mistakes that Ramsdale made this season, I think that can just as much be put down to the fact that he wasn't playing as anything. I think he was rusty. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I think Raya is an upgrade on Ramsdale, and I think Ramsdale has to go. But the idea that he's shit and a terrible goalkeeper is just wrong. It simply is wrong. I'm sorry. I think City have said that they would start Ortega if they sell Ederson. Yeah, possibly. I mean, look, maybe they would. Again, would they want to go and spend most of the money they made off Ederson on Ramsdale if they've got Ortega? Probably not. I think our system makes our keepers make mistakes because they play out the back. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. The way that we play, we concede so few chances, but when we do concede chances, they're normally big chances. It makes it harder for goalkeepers to look good. Chelsea need a goalkeeper. I don't know what Chelsea are doing with goalkeepers, by the way. They bought as it stands, right? Chelsea have Petrovic, Robert Sanchez, Slonina, or whatever his name is, Slonina, Bettinelli, Kepa. They got 5 senior goalkeepers at least. And they've apparently tried to get the Villarreal goalkeeper, Jorgensen, today. They're crazy with goalkeepers. I know we've got a lot of them, but at least a lot of our ones are academy players. Like, it's weird. You know, they bought Petrovic for 16 million euros last summer, and they bought Sanchez for 23 million euros last summer. But they're still not out there going for... If they're going for Jorgensen, like, that's not an elite goalkeeper. So they're still not going to go out there and try and get an elite goalkeeper. It's strange. It is strange. Anyway, look, it is time for Guess the Gooner. If you could click the like button, by the way, just whilst I'm doing... Let me do this spiel, and whilst I'm doing the spiel, click the like button. If we can get to 100 likes, that'd be sensational. I'll have to start again now. It is time for Guess the Gooner, the game where I give you 5 clues about an ex or current Arsenal player, and you have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the RoryTalksFootball community. So get your fingers on your keyboards because we are starting now. Clue number 1, this player joined Arsenal in 2018. Clue number 1, this player joined Arsenal in 2018. Clue number 2, this player is 26 years old. Clue number 2, this player is 26 years old. Clue number 3, Arsenal sold this player to Stuttgart in 2022. Clue number 3, Arsenal sold this player to Stuttgart in 2022. Clue number 4, their only ever Premier League goal came against Arsenal last season. Clue number 4, this player's only ever Premier League goal came against Arsenal last season. And clue number 5, this player has made 27 appearances for Greece. Clue number 5, this player has made 27 appearances for Greece. Here we go. Plenty of people have got the answer, but who got it first? It was... There we go. Gooner. Got it first. Mavropanos was the answer. Gooner, congratulations. John was second. Spacetime was third. Sam Shapiro was fourth. And Harsh was fifth. So there you go. It was indeed Mavropanos. There you go. Wait, Max is saying that Adam got it. Am I wrong? Don't tell me I'm getting VAR checked. Surely not. Surely not. Nah, I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Pretty sure I'm right. I'm correct. VAR, check complete. Goal given to Gooner. You'll love to see it. VAR. No, you didn't, John. You didn't, John. John, on your screen, you might be because you were a close second. But on my screen, once the internet is taken into account, unfortunately, you were second. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Non-Gooner. I'm going to give you the entire career path of a player who does not and has not played for Arsenal. And you have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the RoryTalksFootball community, but not as much respect as Gooner currently has. This player started their career at St. Truiden. This player started their career at St. Truiden. St. Truiden. They then moved to Sunderland. I'm sorry, John. So they went from St. Truiden to Sunderland. They then went to Liverpool. They then went to Club Bruges. St. Truiden, Sunderland, Liverpool, Club Bruges. Who is the player? Who is the player? Who's going to get there first? I feel like there's a few. If I didn't know the answer and I was guessing, there's a few. I might have guessed Divock Origi. No, I wouldn't, because his career is way longer. I mean, to be fair, there's not any, actually. I mean, Benteke again. Basically, Belgians that have played for Liverpool. But the answer is Simon Mignolet, and Ryan Henderson got it first. Ross Lawman was second. George Christodoulou was third. Oscar was fourth. And Max Evans was fifth. There you go. Simon Mignolet. What a player. What a player. Congratulations. Congratulations to today's winners. Absolutely sensational. VAR. Check complete. Bish, bash, bosh. Obviously, by the way, later on, we will be live on Twitch once again. Last night, we finished The Walking Dead. I have to say, big recommendation. You can buy the whole Walking Dead series, game series, all 4 seasons of it, for like 12 quid on PlayStation. And it is unbelievable. The amount of game that you get out of that is absolutely fantastic. So I do recommend that. Anyway, we'll be live tonight. Maybe a new game. Maybe a new game tonight. But other than that, that is going to be the end of the stream. Please do like. Please do subscribe. Hope you all have a fantastic evening. And I'll see you all tomorrow at 6:30 as normal. Until then, goodbye.